We'll start up Toyz just the way we've been doing it in the past. We'll open up our browser to a new workspace. So if you didn't check out the viewer one, I'll remind you that you want to put a trailing slash on the workspace. We may have to sign in again. Okay, so now we can right click and we're going to choose a new source. So the way that data sources work is that all of the data is loaded on the server. And so all of the columns exist there, but things are only sent to the browser as needed. So that way you don't have to, we're not eating a lot of your time and bandwidth sending information that you're not going to need. And so that means that each data file just has to be loaded once, and then you can make as many plots as you want from that one file. So we're going to open up a file. We're going to use pandas. In this case, it's going to be a data source. The other option for pandas is an image source, but we're going to do a data source. It's a comma-separated value file. The only sources set up right now for pandas are comma-separated value, HDF, and SQL. If you wanted to create your own custom, you're welcome to do that, especially if you want to update the code so other people can use it. You also have the option of using Toyz, which has an AstroPy I/O module, and that would be AstroPy tables, so you can open, for example, FITS files that have tables in them. And this, the AstroPy table interface was so great, I just integrated all of the different file types that you can use on there. We'll go back to pandas to load this file. We're going to choose decam, and let's see. So I actually we're not going to use decam. We're going to go back because I created a demo folder, and we'll look at the colors from one of my images. Okay, so now we'll right-click, and we'll say we want a new tile. And so we want to make this window the size of the plot that we want it to be. So we'll make it about that big, and we'll right-click on it. And now we'll choose High Charts as the tile type. Right-click on it again, and now that High Charts is loaded, we click on Edit Chart. So I can create a title. So we'll call this Toyz Demo 1. This is going to be a color magnitude plot. We can choose whether we want, when we highlight a bunch of points, if we want to select them or if we want to zoom in. So right now we're going to keep it on selected. We can choose the data source. If you're not sure which data sources you have, you can right-click anywhere in the dark gray space and click on Data Sources. So we could even rename this if we needed to. And so now we'll choose actually we'll make the x-axis I minus c, and then we'll look at I in the y-axis, and then we click set, and it'll take a second, but it creates that plot. Okay, this is a color magnitude. There's about 500,000 points here, so it's kind of hard to see. So we'll right-click again. We'll edit the chart. And now this time what we're going to do is, the first thing we want to do is invert the y-axis. That's the way we normally do it in astronomy. And then we're going to change, oops, sorry, I don't want to do that. We're going to set the marker div. And so now I'm going to change the fill color, and I'm going to make them more transparent. And the line color I'm essentially just going to make completely transparent. And then I'm going to set this. And again, there's a lot of points here, so it's going to take a minute for this to load. But now you see, you can still see the bulk of the points are laying in here. This is a much more dense region. As I go on each point, though, you can see where each point is. I can make a new tile, and I'm going to connect this tile to the same data source. So I right-click, I go to Tile Type, High Charts again, edit chart. This is going to be Toyz Demo 2. And you notice that there's a lot of different features you can kind of play around with using this, the high charts interface. It's a really good, well-written API that you can take advantage of to make your plots look, really nice. We'll use the same data source. Now, let's see. We'll look at. Let's see. So we'll look at I, and then we'll look at the difference in I from the standard values. And so these are, this is looking at, some other SCSS. This is comparing our magnitudes to SCSS and seeing what the difference is between ours and theirs. And again, this is before any kind of corrections have been done, like 0 points. And so now these are connected to the same data source. So if I click on a point in one chart, notice that we see that point in the other. I happen to just kind of at random select one that's an outlier in both. So if I right click, I can say remove selected points, and it will remove those points from both plots. Again, because there's so many points in this one, it takes a second, but now it's done that and it's removed those points. And actually, I know that these are actually bad sources in all of them, so I could click and drag, I highlight all of those, I right click, say remove selected points, and it's going to remove all of those bad points now from the plot. So that's basically the way it works and how you would do this. Clicking on a point is going to select the point in both plots. So that's about it. Stay tuned. There'll probably be some future videos and playing with your data a little bit more, especially as I add more features to Toyz. I hope you found this